Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Wednesday, 27th August 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Observers are ready for Election Day in Jamaica. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. Chairman of Citizens for Free and Fair Elections in Jamaica says observers are ready for Election Day. Details in this CVM News item with Carla Ramdeen.
Chairman of Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections, Cafe Grace Baston, says the nomination day exercise went smoothly. However, she noted concerns posed by the traffic congestion near some polling centers.
I myself, it took me 1 hour to move from Papine to Gordontown Road where I live because of just the road completely blocked. So, and that wasn't isolated.
But Baston says this did not stop cafe observers from being in every parish. Now they're gearing up for the election. Baston explains that the observers are well trained and equipped to cover the September 3 elections.
So our training process involves our volunteers. We use training videos. Much of our training these days is online, though we do have option for face-to-face. Then every other observer is required to complete a quiz, and to be able to be recognized as successfully trained, you have to have almost 100% for that. So all of that takes place online.
This while adding that they're able to remain nonpartisan because of the screening done by the organization.
We do background checks from our office because you obviously have to have a referee. You have to have somebody, you have to have references. Mm-hmm. And then one of the criteria that, we insist on is that, yes, you will have your political preference, but you can't be a party activist.
The cafe chair says observers report to the polling station before it opens to observe and comment on the proceedings. She adds that they're also required to make reports throughout the day to provide real-time data on activities.
That information goes directly to our data center, is collated in real time, and we are able to issue usually some kind of release by around 11 o'clock, talking about the state of readiness of the polling stations, how the EOG officials are operating, whether or not there have been any irregularities, whether or not any incidents, untoward.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
And Carla now joins us in studio to share more on this story. Right, Carla?
Hi, Lika. So Cafe will have over 600 observers on the ground. Most of those will be in the polling station, and they're targeting constituencies where they say the race is going to be close.
All right, so we'll get more from Carla.
In the meantime, the People's National Party, PNP, is accusing the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, of using unscrupulous methods in its campaign. CVM's Kevin Black tells us more.
Let the word go out tonight that I am unafraid of nobody, unafraid of no boy, no girl, nowhere.
With just 10 days remaining until the upcoming elections officially commence, the People's National Party, PNP, is actively campaigning to garner support in their bid to regain power. They are alleging that the JLP has been using unscrupulous methods to swing the pendulum of public favor towards themselves. Speaking at the PNP St. Mary Parish meeting Saturday night, the PNP candidate for Southeast St. Mary, Christopher Brown, expresses his belief that the PNP has implemented numerous developments in the past 3 weeks, which were not done by the governing JLP during their tenure.
Things that have not been done in 9 years have been done in 3 weeks. Reject the $10,000. Reject the $20,000 and stand firm.
Meanwhile, the PNP candidate for Central St. Mary, Omar Newell, illustrates his political opponent. JLP's Nathaniel Maraj is, quote, the weakest of all candidates nominated on Monday. He says his plans for the constituency trumps those of his counterpart and will improve locals' way of life.
We're gonna build a minimum of 500 housing units in this constituency of Central St. Mary. The party leader put me as the deputy shadow for industry and commerce. And we are going to transform Ballard's Valley into an integrated development that includes residential and commercial.
Mayor of Port Maria, Fitzroy Wilson, also lambasted local government minister Desmond McKenzie for what he describes as lackluster leadership, accusing him of catering exclusively to his party supporters.
Tonight, I want to send a message to the local government minister, Deadman McKenzie. I want to say to Deadman McKenzie, your days are numbered. We have put wheelchair access to all the major streets in Port Maria capital. We have beautified the town, we have cleaned the drains, and the difference is noticeably.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Amaya Moss of ZNS News reports Fidelity Bank President Gowon Bo comments on the latest developments in the tariff war between the U.S. and China.
The United States has extended its tariff truce with China for another 90 days, keeping American duties on Chinese imports at 30%, while Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods remain at 10%. Without this extension, those rates could have skyrocketed to 145% on Chinese goods and 125% on American products. Levels economists warn have the potential to spark a full-blown trade war crisis. Companies are already raising prices on everyday items, from electronics to artificial Christmas trees, signaling that higher costs are trickling down the supply chain. For the Bahamas, the stakes are clear. As a nation that relies heavily on imports, mostly from the United States, any rise in the cost of U.S. goods could drive up local prices on food, building materials, clothing, and household supplies. Economists warns that if American consumers feel the pinch, Bahamian tourism could also take a hit, with U.S. travelers cutting back on discretionary spending. With the latest trade levies in effect, Chief Executive Officer of Fidelity Bank, Gowon Bo, voices concerns regarding the truce, offering insight into the challenges they may pose for the Bahamian economy.
So this war has really experienced territorial disputes. Each country trying to protect revenues and the government is also trying to protect some of their local industries. And so the consequences of the tariff threats of 130% of more negotiating questions. Bahamas is not to be pessimistic, but the reality is us as a country have sort of been very short-sighted in our long-term planning, and so therefore we are highly subjected to price volatility, and so unfortunately these trade wars are the equivalent of hurricanes coming that we were not previously prepared for, and the only thing we can really do is partner up and hope to ride it up.
Trade officials note that extension provides short-term stability, but with the truce set to expire in November, the future of the U.S.-China trade and its ripple effects across small economies like ours remain uncertain. From the shelves in Nassau to the wallets of American tourists, global trade tensions are no longer just a foreign headline. They're becoming a local concern. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Amaya Moss.
A former Prime Minister and the former leader of the United Workers' Party in St. Lucia is pointing to Prime Minister Pear's People First policies as very reminiscent of his time working with Sir John Compton. Senior minister in the Pear administration also says that the current United Workers' Party under Chastain's leadership has abandoned any semblance of being a party that Compton could be proud of. Details in this Choice News Now report.
Former Prime Minister and leader of the United Workers' Party, UWP, Minister for Infrastructure Stephenson King, doubled down on his statement, Flabo pa Flabo Akon. That was the Castries North MP election cry when he made the shocking move of contesting the last general election as an independent candidate, divorcing himself from the present Alan Chastney-led UWP. After serving his first term under the Philip J. Pear administration and as a senior member within his cabinet, King, who now has a panoramic view of the sphere of politics and policy from both views, is drawing comparison between the current Prime Minister's style of governance to the father of the nation.
Much of the passion of the leader, Philip J. Pear, is one which resonates in my mind of Sir John's passion. A passion for the people, helping the people, the quality of life, standard of living, providing the needs of the people, and being focused, laser focused on that scenario. So for me, it is like what I'm engaged in now is a government led by a gentleman who mirrors a lot of the qualities of Sir John Compton.
He explained that one of the key reasons for leaving the UWP was the party's departure from its founding principles, along with a decline in the overall conduct of its members, something, he says, is evident not only in Parliament and the quality of debates, but also in their public behavior.
So when you even look at the quality of the debate in the House of Assembly now, as compared to what it used to be, many times we sit in the Parliament and individuals, particularly from the United Workers' Party, would stand and to move at a tangent and bring all other issues into the debate, not relevant to the subject matter. On the other hand, in public, anything goes. So anybody can say anything.
He went on to say,
this alone just demonstrates the anger that is being spewed out there from people who should hold steadfast to beliefs, to principles, which were the benchmark and the backbone of the United Workers' Party. The United Workers' Party has lost quite a bit of what it stood for.
King says he is saddened and disappointed by the narrative surrounding his decision to prioritize service to the country and its people rather than himself since leaving the UWP. However, he added that he is unfazed, noting it seems to be the prevailing culture within the United Workers' Party.
This new United Workers' Party has not propagated what should be for the good of the entire country. And I do hope that at some stage, some good sense will prevail, some wisdom will prevail, and we will see an organization that upholds itself to the principles that the United Workers' Party was first founded on, and will ensure that they practice the beliefs of the founding fathers of the United Workers' Party.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.